Hello, darlings, and welcome back to Marty's Haunted Mansion, where we talk about all things creepy and unusual, darlings. It's Halloween all year round in our worlds. Today's topic, darlings, is going to be on La Leyenda de Nacho. No, not Nacho. Nachito. I want some nachos, but yeah. The legend of Nachito takes place in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. This young boy's name is Ignacio Torres Altamirano, and also known as Nachito. So let's talk spooky, darlings, shall we? Legend says that when Nachito was born, he expressed intense fearness of the darkness. Therefore, he did not like to be in completely dark rooms or closed in confined areas. He was so terrified of the darkness that his mother and his father would always leave a candle lit so he wouldn't be so afraid to sleep in his room. And they would always leave the door wide open so he didn't feel so closed in. Days and days went by as Nachito turned 1 year old. Nachito's parents needed to leave the house briefly, so what they did is they left their son Nachito in his crib. They put him to sleep with his nightlight on. As they left the house, the candle flickered and finally burned out. And then suddenly, the whole room filled with darkness. Suddenly, darlings, Nachito's parents came home and realized that there was no light glistening from Nachito's room, as it was carried as dead silence throughout the house. They felt something was wrong as they ran to Nachito's crib, as they found the baby boy with tears all over his face and not moving, as they pronounced him dead, as he died of a heart attack because he was so fearful of the dark. They say he died of nyctophobia, which is a condition that's afraid and fearful of the dark. Nachito died May 24th, 1882. And this is where it gets really, really creepy. Nachito's parents buried Nachito in Belén Panteón cemetery in Guadalajara, Mexico. Strangely, the very next day after Nachito's burial and funeral, they found Nachito's body outside of the grave. As the undertakers came back to bury Nachito again, 6 feet under. And the next day, they found Nachito's body outside of the grave again. As this happened 10 days straight in a row. Allegedly, Nachito was found out of his grave because he was fearful of the darkness and confined places, as his parents decided to take him out from the grave and to build one on top. According to his parents, Nachito could not rest properly in the grave because of his largest fear of being in the dark and in enclosed places. Nachito's tomb is made of stone, as it has openings on the sides for light to come through. Near his tomb, they put 4 columns, as each of them have torches to light up the night sky, so he wouldn't be so afraid of the dark. As Nachito's parents did all this for their son, they no longer found his body out from the grave, because he had a lot of light coming through from the torches. So his body can now rest in peace. Things people say about Nachito. People say that Nachito suffered unwell of the devil. They also say if you don't bring Nachito a toy, he would follow you home and play pranks on you. So therefore, nowadays, when you go see Nachito, a lot of people bring a toys to Nachito. As a lot of people do not know, but Nachito really does play with his toys at night. According to the grave diggers, they say before the cemetery opens, they would go into the cemetery and find Nachito's toys scattered all around his grave. As well as they would find Nachito's toys also near children's tombstones, so he would play with the other children that were near. They also say they seen Nachito playing with a balloon, walking around the cemetery. They also say, that's quite creepy, is if you take one of Nachito's toys home with you, he will follow you home in anger. And lots of strange, spooky, creepy stuff would start happening in your life. So, darlings, that ends our spooky story for tonight. And if you like more spooky stories like this, then please, I can never say that right, press a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more spooky stories, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right there, and that will pop up in your beautiful face, notifying you, and I have something spooky popping up, darlings. So, darlings, I also want to thank the new subscribers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. So thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button and wanting to know more about the strange and unusual and the paranormal. So, darlings, if you're ever in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, in the cemetery where Nachito is buried, don't forget that they do night tours, and don't forget to go visit Nachito's grave, and do not forget to bring a toy with you so you can give to him so he can play at night. Anyways, darlings, thank you so much. Have a good night. I'm off to my coffin. I go into my chamber with no light. So anyways, darlings, good night.